cuts to the government's 2025 budget as the most corrupt
Philippines' ranking in global corruption index worsens.
Corruption has become the norm in government and infrastructure projects in the wake of
Corruption
Typhoon
have worsened in the country over the last 2 years.
In the corridors of power, behind closed doors, the destruction of our nature, corruption thrives. It weakens institutions, fuels illegal smuggling, and devastates the environment. But beyond the hidden deals installed above, there's a greater cause, one that cripples economies and leaves millions in poverty. How does corruption become so deeply embedded in the Philippines? What are its economic consequences? And can it ever be stopped? This is the story of deception, destruction, and economic downfall. This is the cause of corruption. Smuggling is a billion-dollar industry fueled by corruption. From fake goods to drugs and weapons, bribery allows these illegal trades to operate without fear.
The Bureau of Customs seized 23 billion pesos worth of smuggled goods from January to October 2021, based on its report to the House Committee on Public Accounts. This is lower compared to last year with 10.6 billion pesos and 20.58 billion pesos in 2019. Responding to House Panel Chair Jose Bonito Singson query, Guerrero said the largest importation of smuggled items consists of counterfeit goods and merchandise that came from China. According to Guerrero, even the Chinese authorities experienced difficulties in monitoring their exporters. The BOC chief said they are now expanding their inspections in stores and warehouses as part of the campaign against smuggled goods.
Doon sa letters of authority na ini-issue ko, kino-cover po namin even yung mga warehouses, stores, kung saan po nakikita natin na meron po mga ganyang violations.
Esolon expresses worries over the proliferation of smuggled goods, especially in agricultural products. The Bureau of Customs seized 23 billion pesos worth of smuggled goods from January to October 2021, based on its report to the House Committee on Public Accounts. This is lower compared to last year with 10.6 billion pesos and 20.58 billion pesos in 2019. Responding to House Panel Chair Jose Bonito Singson query, Guerrero said the largest importation of smuggled items consists of counterfeit goods and merchandise that came from China. According to Guerrero, even the Chinese authorities experienced difficulties in monitoring their exporters.
Pero ganun din po, even yung China po, nire-recognize na sila din po, hirap din po na i-monitor lahat yung mga exporter sila doon dahil napakalaki rin po ng trade volumes po nila, no?
The BOC chief said they are now expanding their inspections in stores and warehouses as part of the campaign against smuggled goods.
Doon sa letters of authority na ini-issue ko, kino-cover po namin even yung mga warehouses, stores, kung saan po nakikita natin na meron po mga ganyang violations.
Esolon expresses worries over the proliferation of smuggled goods, especially in agricultural products.
May mga ilang pag-aaral ang iba't ibang grupo, na example yung smuggling sa rice, agricultural products, and others. Definitely may direct impact yan sa ating mga magsasaka.
Despite this, Guerrero reported that the BOC has overshoot its target collection in 2020 with a goal of 506.150 billion pesos in actual collection of more than 537 billion pesos. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue, we serve the people.
Smugglers pay off border officials and custom agents to bypass inspections. This hurts legitimate businesses and drains government revenue. So in these following days, we've conducted interviews with the students, teachers, and local people in order to get their insights and opinions about the current issues that is happening within the community.
Oo, definitely, no, yung corruption, pati smuggling, nangyayari talaga yan sa bansa natin, no? Lalong-lalo na yung resulta ng smuggling sa pagkakaroon ng corruption. Yan dalawang yan, magkaugnay yan, no? Yung illegal na smuggling, pinagbabawal talaga yan sa kahit anong mga bansa. Lalo dito sa Pilipinas. Nakakalungkot nga lang kasi talamak talaga ang smuggling sa Pilipinas. At syempre, kung may smuggling, may mga nasa posisyon, nasa pamahalaan, kahit sa pribadong sektor, no, na nagiging dahilan para tong mga produkto na to illegal na nakakapasok sa bansa. Syempre, nagiging form of corruption 'yon. Kasi nga hindi sila nagbabayad ng tamang buwis. Alam natin yung buwis na 'yon, mapupunta 'yon sa mga serbisyo ng gobyerno o ng pamahalaan. Kita national level, no, siguro sa Tansa hindi masyado mo makikita kasi wala, kung meron man tayong port dito, hindi ganoon hindi ganoon kalaki yung impact sa local economy natin when we talk about smuggling. Pero in national economy natin, again, yung mga produkto yan, makaka-apekto yan sa pang-araw-araw na buhay ng mga kababayan natin, mga tao. Kasi nga yung issue ng smuggling na yan, ng illegal smuggling na yan, lahat tayo damay dyan. Ang gobyerno, diba, ang responsibilidad niya makapag-provide ng serbisyo, mapababa ang presyo ng bilihin, kung ano pa man yung mga dapat yung mandato mismo ng gobyerno. Pero dahil nga dito nga sa illegal smuggling na to, apektado ang lahat, no? Unang-una nga pagkain, no? Presyo ng bawang, presyo ng bigas, ultimo kamatis. May mga panahon sa Pilipinas, buwan sa Pilipinas na ang maggulat ka sobrang taas. Tapos biglang babagsak. Ibig sabihin, makikita mo, no, posibleng may nagmamanipula ng presyo. Yung production, supply and demand. So, lahat tayo apektado. Yun yung nakikita ko.
So, yung corruption, nakakatulong ito sa inflation. Kasi, yung mga binibenta nila, sabihin na nating sale. Pero, at some point, pag nakita nila na yung rate dito ng mga prices sa Pilipinas ay mataas, tataasan din nila yung prices ng mga binibenta nilang produkto kahit na hindi sila nagbabayad ng tax. Kahit na iisipin nila mataas, mas mataas yung nila. So, nakaka-apekto na rin sa inflation natin kasi sa cost base sila kung ano yung nangyayari sa bansa natin.
Kung ako yung nasa posisyon, hindi ko may papangako na kaya kong solusyonan yung problema. Pero yan kasi it's more on implementation. Hindi naman tayo nagkulang sa batas, no? May mga anti-red tape, anti-corruption, anti-smuggling laws tayo. Execution yung nagiging problema. Ang problema pa nga kasi, no, may mga nasa posisyon, sorry to say, no, may nakikipagkutsaba sa pribadong sektor, para rin sa pamahalaan, kung saan nauuna yung sarili nilang pansariling interes, no, kaysa doon sa kung anong pangangailangan ng ating bayan, no. So yung paghihigpit sa anti-corruption laws, yung mahigpit na implementation, yun talaga ang kailangan natin, no. Kasi kung titingnan mo naman, i-benchmark mo siguro yung mga batas natin versus dun sa ibang mga bansa na may problema rin sa smuggling pero hindi ganun kalala, halos kumpleto naman tayo ng mga batas. Hindi ko sinasabing perfecto, meron pang kailangang i-improve, pero hindi nagkulang ang batas natin para sana solusyonan yung smuggling sa bansa natin. Ang nagkakaroon lang talaga tayo yung executions at yung implementations ng mga batas.
Okay, yun lamang po.
Here are the following economic impact of illegal smuggling. First, loss of tax revenue. Government loses billions annually as illegal goods avoid taxation. Second, unfair competition. Legal businesses suffer as cheaper smuggled goods flood the market, which causes an uproar and surplus within the community. Third, increase in criminal activity. Smuggling profits fund organized crime and terrorism, which causes the federal agents to be having a hard time catching them. But corruption doesn't just harm businesses and government revenue, it also has a devastating impact on the environment. When corporations and officials conspires, nature pays the price. Laws meant to protect the environment become meaningless in the face of bribery.
Let's go to Southeast Asia now, and the Philippines is ranked as one of the countries most vulnerable to the impacts of climate change. It's regularly hit by powerful storms, landslides and flooding. Forests on the country's largest island, Luzon, are among the natural defences against extreme weather, but mining, quarrying and illegal logging have devastated much of it. Our correspondent Laura Bicker has this special report on those fighting to protect the remaining forest and those who want to exploit it.
Many believe these mist-covered mountains help save lives, that the uneven peaks offer protection from powerful storms.
Companies bribe officials to bypass regulations, and this leads to unchecked deforestation, toxic waste dumping, and pollution that will take decades to reverse. Which is why we gathered some people in order to be interviewed in order to assess the problem of environmental degradation.
Personally, I believe yes. Corruption adds to the mas nabibigyan sila ng thinking na they can get away with the law just because meron silang needs or capabilities. And with that, dahil nga nakakadagdag yung corruption, is mas nagkakaroon ng environmental degradation. For example, illegal mining, illegal logging. So, mas nabibigyan sila ng leeway na gawin yon kahit na hindi naman dapat just because meron silang means or capability like pera, pwede silang manuhol or di kaya they can acquire permits ng just because nakapagbayad sila kahit na hindi naman tama.
Siyempre, very worst sa part nila kasi sila yung labis na naapektuhan nung pagkasira ng environment natin. So katulad nga ng sinabi ko kanina, karamihan ng mga nasa rural community, ang kinabubuhay kasi talaga nila ay pagsasaka at pangingisda. So ibig sabihin, kung nasisira yung environment, so nasisira na rin yung kanilang hanap buhay. No? So napakalaking factor na bakit inuuna pa rin yung personal na interest pagdating sa mga bagay na yun. Nagkakaroon tayo ng mga corruption, di ba? So, minsan kinukuha nila yung pondo imbes na gamitin talaga para mapangalagaan maigi yung environment natin. So, sa madaling salita, kapag naapektuhan yung pamumuhay ng mga farmers natin, mga fishermen, at iba pang mga nagtatrabaho sa environment natin, so ibig sabihin, nahihirapan din sila na i-provide yung basic needs ng kanilang family, especially kung wala din naman talaga silang nakukuhang support from the government. Definitely not. Kulang na kulang. Kasi ang nakakalungkot sa Pilipinas, yun na nga, may mga agency tayo, institution tayo na nangangalaga sa environment. Just like the DNR, di ba? Pero bakit ina-allow nila, di ba, na magkaroon ng ganong klaseng mga problema sa environment natin? Actually, ang dami-dami ng mga balita, even mga documentaries na sinasabi, inalaw naman daw sila ng DNR, nagkaroon naman daw sila ng permit. Dapat nga sila yung number 1 na kumikilos at gumagawa ng paraan para maproteksyonan yung environment natin. So doon pa lang makikita mo na
kulang ang ginagawa ng gobyerno, no, para mapangalagaan yung environment natin. At syempre, when talking about corruption, yun nga, siguro may mga other connections, no, yung mga tao sa iba't ibang mga institution, especially sa DNR, na talagang pumapwersa din sa kanila na pagbigyan yung ganun klaseng mga grupo ng mga tao na nagte-take advantage sa environment natin, na sana dapat sila mismo may integrity, 'di ba? Meron silang principle, meron silang virtue na pinangahawakan na okay, dahil kami ang inatasan dito para mangalaga, sana panghawakan man lang nila yung mga rules at mga laws na ginawa nila para sa environment natin.
For corruption, I think I'd suggest na magkaroon ng mas strict pa na transparency measures. Kasi marami talagang mga government official, mga higher-ups pa mismo na sila pa yung nakakatakas sa corruption kasi hindi naman natin sila hinihingan ng mas transparent pa na report kung saan ba talaga napunta yung pera ng taong bayan. And for example, naapektuhan din yun sa environment natin, environmental laws, kasi syempre, may mga government officials na truth be told, tumatanggap talaga ng suhol or bribery. Lalo na kapag iniisip nila na makaka-benefit sila doon sa mga tao. And hindi na-enforce ng ayos or hindi na-enforce ng tama yung mga environmental laws natin.
Economic impact of environmental degradation. First, loss of agricultural productivity. Deforestation and pollution damages the farmlands. Second, rising health costs. Air and water pollution causes disease outbreaks. Third, climate-related disasters. Corruption weakens climate policies, leading to more extreme weather events.
Labanan ang korupsyon.
Labanan ang korupsyon! 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 Labanan korupsyon!
Corruption doesn't just affect individuals, it destroys entire economies, so let's examine the bigger picture. Studies show that corruption reduces GDP growth by at least 2% annually. This means fewer jobs, weaker infrastructure, and a higher cost of living. So how does corruption stalls our economic growth? First, reduce GDP growth. Corrupt economies grow at a slower rate. Second, higher inflation and instability. Stalling funds lead to economic crisis. Third, weaker currency and financial crisis. Corruption drives nation into financial instability. Corruption is deeply rooted, but it is not invincible. Around the world, people are pushing for changes. Here's how corruption can be fought. First, strengthening institutions, independent oversight agencies and anti-corruption laws. Second, enhancing transparency, public access to government transactions. Third, protecting whistleblowers and journalists, ensuring the safety of those who expose corruption. Fourth, public participation and awareness, citizens demanding accountability from their leaders. The cost of corruption is too great to ignore. It weakens nations, fuels crime, and destroys the planet. But the fight is not over. The future belongs to those who refuse to accept corruption as normal. Change begins with awareness, it continues with action, and it ends when justice prevails.